Okay, looks like we're back at it. Just waiting on it to pop up to say that, yep, there comes the email saying you're live online. Woohoo! I had a hard time deciding where to place this game because it's on the development build. It's version 1.211, but it is also my intense game, so I'm kind of killing two birds with one stone. And we've built the vehicle and put all of the good stuff in it. So I'm actually pretty happy about that. What is what is making the noise? And if it's this, that's okay. I don't have transport inventory increase. I don't care about that one as much as I care about or do I not have the logistics? Well, if I don't have the logistics to get, oh, there's Shaman. You're looking almost human. Good morning. I'm glad you're here. I'm going to tell you what my brilliant plan is going to be. Since I'm not going to be here Thursday morning, what I was going to do is after an hour and a half, roughly, I'm going to stop this stream and then I'm going to record a live stream that is private. And Thursday morning at as close to 8 as I can get, I'm going to make the next hour and a half, public and it'll be there. We'll see if that works out. I've never tried it before. Yada, 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 yada. And as I was saying before you arrived, you might have heard it. I was a little confused about how things were going because this is my intense build, but it is also a development build because they put the vehicle in the standard stream, and I figured why not play the development, you know, to look at what's going on there. Something in the development build is to call the vehicle back. And I've tested it and it's okay. I'm going to go get the foodstuffs. And I'm going to put the foodstuffs back there. Shaman, you look like you need coffee. And now that I've got food, let's go find water, because I know I've got a bunch of water. And I realize that I'm taking up my inventory space, but I'm also going to drive around in such a way as to be out on the edge of the world. Whoop. No, I don't drive good. Whoop, 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 whoop. Shaman, I truly hope that you're off getting coffee. Or you're lurking, or something. I have no voice or game sound. Okay. How about now? And I have to say, I'm not okay or now. Hmm. Test, test, test. Can you hear me now? Hmm. That is a nope. Hmm. I'm a little concerned that it might be echoey, which was the problem I had before. The not being able to hear me and blah, blah, blah. I hear you, but no game sounds. Well, okie doke. How about now? Hi, Darlene. We're having technical difficulties. I'm having sound issues. I hear you now, unless the game sound is low. The game is a little bit low. Let me drive some and I'll see whether or not you hear that. Whoa. Ah. Well, I wasn't trying to drive into the pond, but here we are. There's where I'm trying to go. And I do have the game sounds turned down. Gosh, I need to go get near something. No game noise. All right. I've just turned the game back up. It is very low. A darn good point, Shyman. Here I come to save the day. Mighty Mouse is on the way. Still a bit low, but I hear it. Well, okay. Well, I wondered what you were talking about, but Shaman. I'm just worried that if I turn the game sound up, that no one will be able to hear me while I'm flying. I gotta admit, I wish I could see that from the outside. All right, I see what you're doing there. No, I'm not. Too early for tennis. Yes. Um, yeah, ain't that the truth? Darlene, the problem is, and you don't know uh, because there's been things going on that my voice wasn't being heard. Um, However, they could hear the game a little too well. And so I turned the game down, and now, you know, it's always something. I'm also seriously considering getting a new headset because this headset is way cheap. Thank you, Darlene. I appreciate the help. Tell me, Darlene, when did you live in South Carolina? I was there from 1987 to 2019. I don't know that I need any of all that. Now your voice level is much better today. Well, and like I said, this headset I'm wearing is from Goodwill, and I paid, virtually nothing for it. We're working on a shoestring budget here at the Daily Yak, and woo, come on. I'm wondering if I have the stuff that I could build stuff. So for an extra super alloy, you get a whole nother row of rooms, or two more. I moved down in 2019. That was about the time that I left. And I was talking to my wife about what you said about living in cow pens. And we both, in our jobs, my wife was a hospice nurse, used to travel all over the state. And I really didn't like going to Charleston, even though it's a beautiful place, because the closer you got to, whoops, the closer you got to the end of the peninsula, the thinner the roads. The peninsula went down in size as you drove into it going south, and Charleston got denser and denser as you drove in. Driving in Charleston proper is a tremendous pain in the backside. Supposedly there's two golden chests over here, and I've never found them. And if you all can hear me over this storm, that would be the icing on the cake. I'm also trying to be cognizant to speak a little louder because I kind of have a soft voice. I could use my military voice, but it's early here. My wife's in the other side of the house taking a nap. There's no reason to be too loud. Oh, well, I didn't mean to dance right there on top of the seat, but here we are. Totally understand about budget constraints. Things are fine over the storm. Well, okay, I'm much happier then. But it seems to have no rhyme or reason about what it does and how it does it when it does it. And it could very well be the computer. It's something used that I rebuilt, and so. Um, and speaking of buying half-broke stuff, I bought a 32 gig 10-inch tablet last night from Goodwill. That do I need a tablet? Probably not, but I've always wanted a Windows tablet. It came with Windows 8. I'm hoping I can put Windows 10 on it. I might give it to my daughter or my granddaughter, or ask my son if his oldest daughter wouldn't mind one. Whoa. And this thing is four-wheel drive, but it's not doing much. When you live in the land of four-wheel drives on the street, also different games need different sound adjustments, and that's true. All right, what am I doing? Well, I'm getting ready to go to 1 TTI if I just sit here long enough. I'm trying to think of where the door is at. Cool find on the tablet. Yeah, it was. There's 1 TTI. Woohoo! Um, they were having a 50% off sale on clearance items, and being as it's coming from Goodwill, I mean, I'm not holding my breath about it being of fantastic quality. I just stopped by to say I have to get ready for a doctor's appointment. Darlene, I appreciate it very much. Thank you so much for stopping by and taking your time to talk to me for just a second. I hope you have a good doctor's appointment. I've got one on Thursday that I get to go to. So it was good to have you here. All right. Now, where am I going? For as much as I think I know where I'm going, maybe I don't. I might have to wait for it to become daylight again to even. Yeah, I understand that. I get blood work done quite a little bit myself. I think I'm going to have to wait for daylight to see where the cave is at that I'm looking for. Nope, there it is. Bye, darling. Have a good one. I wonder if I go in there. Yes, I get burnt. Well, okay. Stay out of the liquid. Kryptonite Cave. Where's Char-El? Yeah, no doubt. I follow somebody on Threads that um, oh, and I don't have any explosives with me. Not a one. His dog is named Kal-El, which is Superman's name before he left Kryptonite. Okay. I can see that I'm ill-equipped to make this trip. There just seems to me that there should be a couple of gold crates sitting right down in the middle of that oasis. It just looks typical to what they've done in the game before. Forgot what Superman, other than Superdog. Well, no, Kal-El was Superman's name before he left Krypton. Yes, you are absolutely right. I misspoke. Um, but he's a black and tan dachshund. If you don't know and you're not a fan of Superman, you would never know what that dog's name really means. Um, oh, there are moments this thing doesn't turn as well as I would like. Or maybe I'm not driving as well as I would like. Is that going to go right through there? Oh, come on, turn, turn, turn. Do everything, turn, turn, turn. Hmm. All right, I know where I'm at, but I can't get this. Hmm. How much of that can I get back in here? Because I can't get that through this crevice, but I can get me through this crevice. Let me make sure that I'm not talking out of my backside for just a second, which wouldn't be unusual. I'm going to check my phone. Oh, come on, have a post about your dog here. Okay. Real exciting stream. Listening to some guy look up something on his phone. Hmm. Boy, this gentleman usually has stuff about his dog every day. And he does a lot of very serious writing, but man. Hmm, 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 hmm. Well, I'm getting ready to leave this alone because it's driving me a bit nuts. Ah, there's a post about his dog, but they're not saying his name. Oh, come on. Recent delivery from Krypton. Nope, nope. Kal-El, Kal dash El. Oh, I remember Christopher Reeves as Superman. I remember going, gosh, I went on a date with somebody and went and saw one of those. And I just can't remember. Yeah, I remember when the news that Christopher Reeve got thrown off the horse and was paralyzed. That was sad. Yeah, all of his stuff came out about the time I graduated from high school. Now, what do I need? I need to go out here and rebuild the car, drop all that inventory back in it. And there we go. All right, much more better. All right, now if I could just fly. So you were a librarian. Do you have a degree in library science? Or I'm going to take those with me because the documentary is mainly about his life after the accident. Even the movie trailer made me cry. So inspirational. I didn't know there was a movie. Okay, I've got all that. Let's go. Hmm. Yeah, Shaman, before you got here, I said something about what I'm going to do for Thursday morning. Um, is I'm going to, once we stop here about 9:30, you're going to leave. I'm going to record a live stream that's going to be private. And then Thursday morning, I'm going to get on my phone and make it public at approximately 8. I might be a little late. I might be a little early because, you know, it'll be sitting there to the best of my ability. And if it's not, something's obviously happened. 3. Titanium, titanium. Hmm. Ooh, excuse me. I can honestly say that I think, well, it's not on this side. It's on that side. I'm going to be going a little slower, but maybe then I'll be able to drive worth a darn. much as I don't like going so slow, became a librarian by working my way up. I worked in my school library since age 12 through junior college. I never worked at San Diego State University because my class load was too heavy. I know about that. Taking a full load is a lot of work. But you were a library nerd. Yeah, I worked in the media center when I was in college and I went to a small liberal arts college known as Francis Marion University in Florence, South Carolina. And the VA paid for my college, everything but parking passes and such. Um, I was a freshman at age 38 and I graduated at age 43. And I don't know. I don't know that it changed my situation much. It got my foot in the door better. Back in the day, you could work your way up or go to school. Nowadays, minimum qualifications is a master's degree. Yeah, I'm sure of that. And the reason why when I moved here, I didn't get a job. I lived way close to an army base, and I didn't get a job there because they wanted a certification and a master's degree. I have a certification and a bachelor's degree. And, you know, if I'd have went into networking in the Army or with the Army, um, I would have had to have gotten this certification to continue my employment with them. And I'm only running around here because there's got to be a gold crate around here somewhere. Come on. Well, it's good that you can grow plants out of the top of seemingly solid rock. And I was, 56 or 57 when we moved here, and I knew that the how much money I'd pay, $15,000 to $20,000, I wouldn't have a chance to make it back. I wouldn't be in employment long enough to do much with it, and so I just didn't. I went back to doing help desk type stuff, and went back to um, I was installing computers at a local hospital as a contract worker. And now, don't get me wrong, that was a heck of a lot of fun. It was unusual having a wife that was a nurse, but I was the one driving to the hospital to go to work. And she had already retired about the time we moved here because she stopped being a hospice nurse and went into being a home health nurse. And she started a new job that was just a pain in the arse. And I looked at her one day. I said, "You seem to be struggling with this." I said, "You're at an age right now that you could retire and draw Social Security and sit on your backside and do whatever you do." All right, where am I building this thing? Now that I've got that built, I'll bet you money that I don't have enough to put a door on it. And I would be right. I have two bachelor's degrees, one in art and art history with an emphasis on Egyptology and the other one in Renaissance literature. Oh man, I bet that Egyptology thing is Way interesting. All right. Yeah, I have a bachelor's of business administration. I started out trying to do computer science and trigonometry. Well, not trig, calculus. Stopped that because I just wasn't strong enough in math to even think about it. And so I said, well, what can I drop back to? And I didn't want to be a programmer anyway. I don't have a programming mind. You've you've got to have a grip on where you're going and what you're doing. To write a program, you have to be clear about the beginning and the end of said program. And I don't know that I've got that much brains about me, and didn't even have that much brains about me when I was in my 30s. Come on, I need it. Did master's program in creative writing till I discontinued my degree in, oh, well, foot. Yeah, going into MIS fit me better, and that's Management of Information Systems. And where I went offered a program, it was a BBA, and a lot of people don't know what a BBA, and that's a Bachelor's of Business Administration with, well, I didn't need that. Bachelor's of Business Administration with an emphasis on MIS, or Management of Information Systems. I mean, I have taken accounting, good grief, since I was in high school. Um, I hadn't, I was always pointing toward business. My brother was a builder, good grief, man could build anything. And I never had a inkling to want to go outside and work a whole heck of a lot, but I wound up doing it in a sense. Come on, I need a tell me that's a silicone. Woohoo! um, what still is? I missed it. Whoop. I've gotten my fingers off of the keys on the keyboard. Mainly, I just wanted to be an artist and a writer. College degrees legitimized that for my family. Well, and I get, I get it. I couldn't see me doing anything other than doing something with computers. I was fascinated by them. I used to drive the people at Radio Shack in Knoxville, on Gay Street in Knoxville, nuts because uh, I'd go in there and program their computers in BASIC, and I had a fascination with the programming of it at that point in time. I mean, I was young. I didn't know my backside from a hole in the ground. But as I got further into it, I took mechanical drawing. I won, my mechanical drawing, my drafting won a countywide show in a certain category. I even forget what it was. And, I had a mechanical aptitude, and I don't know why. I mean, the first time I um, took the ASVAB, which is the military entrance exam, I was 15 points away from acing that whole thing. I mean, and when I went in, I had to retake the ASVAB, and I lost a few. Couldn't make a living at art or writing. Worked at my happy place library. Yeah, I understand that. All right, where are we going? Well, and that's going toward that, or it wouldn't be changing color. I think right up here it is. Okay, close enough. Nope. Well, Snickle Fritz. To take a word out of AMP's playbook. ASVAB is no joke of a test. Well, I came 15 points away from acing it. I had all of them chasing after me, all the different services. And hell, I had the Marine Corps call me so much, I finally, after the third month in a row of talking to their recruiter, I said, "Do you see my name on your RIP?" He said, "Yes." I said, "I've told you 3 months in a row, if I'm going in any place, it's going to be the Air Force. And if you continue to call me, you have a commanding officer someplace. I will get a hold of your commanding officer and I'll let him know that you won't take no for an answer." And the call stopped. But then when I retook the ASVAB, because I'd let it lapse before I decided to go in, I was 25 points away from acing it. And still yet, you know. But my mechanical aptitude carried me a lot, which was why I wound up being a mechanic. I worked in an office before I went in the military, and I was pretty much sick of it. I just said, I've got to be a mechanic at this point. From a physical standpoint in my later years, has it been a good decision? Well, no. Um, you know, I'm plenty broke down because of it, but I wouldn't have traded it for the world. My job in the military was what was called AGE, Aerospace Ground Equipment, and I I worked on everything under the sun. I knew a lot of people that got out and worked on forklifts after they left the military because that was literally what we did. And something that the troubleshooting of it all, to sit down and go through a logical progression about, all right, I'm broke. How do I figure out what's broke? Really resonated with me. If working on diesels was a clean thing, I'd probably still be doing it because talk about, I just really have an itch to get things working. And I don't really know why. My dad doesn't have a mechanical bone in his body. My mom, however, if if anybody got a mechanical gene or if there was something mechanical, I got it from her because my dad couldn't hardly change a tire. Um, and that's what I liked about computers. Um, I worked out in the heat and so on and so forth. And after that played itself out, everything, well, before I got out of the military, it played itself out. I got in a little bit of trouble. I mean, and it would behoove me not to be around the shop because I wasn't going places. My star was waning, not rising. It was my own fault. I have no one to blame but myself for my own foibles. And, it is what it is. But um, then I went into teaching and really thrived. That was probably 4 of the best years of my career. Uh, but I was teaching people how to operate the equipment that I had been wrenching on. And that's kind of why I didn't make any more rank than what I did. The, I was an E5, and I could sign off other people's work. And if I'd have made E6, my old shop wanted me back and wanted me to be a supervisor because I already had the training to do the things that needed to be done for younger troops. And I just went, nah, I've been that far before. I wasn't going to get a good EPR out of them. Enlisted performance report. I knew those people, and they didn't much care for me, and I didn't much care for them. And so when it came time to leave, my best friend, I mean, darn near begged me not to go and not to get out. We loved working with each other. Me and him are still friends, and um, like mine was creative paths. I drew all my homework papers and made up stories my whole life. It's just where my brain goes. Yep. Funny part of it is I can put something back together the way the book intended it. Okay, uh, I have that much aptitude. I could still sit down and tell you how to do it. Uh, but people who build like custom cars and take a pile of absolute junk and turn it into a usable vehicle, um, amaze me. I don't have that much flexibility in my head. I don't have that much imagination. I don't know how to put it. Tony and I were, um, when we met, we were both staff sergeants. He went on to become master sergeant, one of the smartest guys I know. He retired. I did not. He said he was very hurt when, I left. We were such a good team together. He was my work wife. Um, I remember one time our email system went out, 1,500 email clients, and it laid down and died. And one of us had to be there for the contractor that was coming in to deal with our email system. And um, I knew if I looked at Tony and said, I've got this going on, uh, could you see about making sure before I come back in that these things are done? They'd either be done or he would have concrete reasons why they didn't get done. And, I'm a very private person. I just don't, you know, I can't say that I'm overly friendly to strangers, and um, I just I hold myself back. And here, right after I moved to Texas, he wrote me a message on Facebook Messenger and said, "Do you still have my number?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Call me." We've been talking ever since. I got a computer sitting here in front of me that when times were tough, he was working on something that he needed help on, and he said, I wanted to make sure we both had the same piece of hardware. So he bought me a server, and he said, you're not obligated to use it, if you don't do anything with it. But if I call and ask for help, I want us to be staring at generally the same thing. I love stuffing that guy. If he called tomorrow and said, get in the car, I need your help, I'd be going 6 hours to Louisiana. He also lives pretty near my other daughter, so that wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. And my wife is going to take a trip with her sister at some point. And I told him when she goes to take that trip, I'm coming to your house. Is that okay? He said, I'd love it. He's lost his vision in one eye due to a detached retina, and he can't see to work on computers anymore, but he still has a ton of them. Um, he is my brother, um, and always will be. I've seen him through 2 marriages, and I can't say we were terribly close, that we did a lot outside of work, because we really didn't run in the same pack of people for the most part. But he is, you know, the funny part is that the very first time I laid eyes on this guy, he was an engine troop, I was an age troop. He went and shot a piece of paper at the trash can, and he is African American. And I said, African American that can't shoot ball? And he flipped his hand over and showed me the palm of his hand. He said, I shot with this side of my hand. And I just about fell down laughing. And we've been good friends ever since. And I told him to his face, I said, I want you to know that I can be grumpy. I can be an ass. Um, I can really be a nasty person when I set my mind to it. And my mind, unfortunately, seems to be set to it more than I would like. And, you know, he has told me more than once that he thinks I'm getting better. And I try very hard. Wake up every morning and go, don't be an ass. But having friends like him helped. And having friends like you has helped. I mean, you're, do I know you in real life? No. But are you an exemplary person from what I can see with my own 2 eyes? The answer is yes. Yeah. Well, I have somebody I went in basic training with that we were the only 2 people in our basic training flight that were from East Tennessee. And so we stuck pretty darn close to one another for that 6 week time span. And I even tried to pick something to go be near William. I love this guy like crazy. He was really good people. And after we both got out of technical school, this would have been late '84, because I went to Alaska in December of '84. So, and we talked, that one time. I've talked to him on the phone a time or two since then. He got medically retired. He had a problem similar to amps. And, it was funny when she mentioned that. That's the only other person that I've heard of that had that issue is her and him. All right, what am I going up to here? Ah, knew that if there was a chance for me to run over the top of that, I would do it. No, and I have to say that I feel for my ex-wife. Um, she was not treated well by me. Just wasn't anything else to say about it. She just wasn't treated well. I was not a nice guy, and I regret it. And I talked to my ex-wife a couple of months ago because I had to get, I had to get some information from her where we were married, and uh, it was unusual. Come to find out, she's had dachshunds in her life and also had a Chihuahua, and uh, I'm happy she's doing well, but I don't go out of my way to cycle in the same circles with her. She went up and visited my son, and I need to ask my son how his trip went, but how that trip went. But all right, it's 8:53. We got to find something that's going to get the numbers moving now that I've had my fun. Hmm. And you're quite welcome. Well, if we could get the biomass moving a little faster, let me see. Allows you to craft biomass recipes. How much biomass do I get by making all that crap? Insects, 20 a second. I don't need another one of those, but now I'm going to have to get two of those, four of those, two of those. I need 2 tree bark. Hmm. Where to build, where to build. More insects. Do you have critters yet? I do not have critters, and that's probably the best place it could be done, but I'm oh, and I still need a door. I need 2 doors. 2 doors. Ha ha. I crack myself up. Yeah, animal spreader, of which we're going to go and get that. Those white things always remind me of teeth. Being a lit major, I knew you'd get that. Wow. Energy fuses. Those are hard to come by. There are moments that this game, that shows a door on that, and there's not a door on it. That's false advertisement. Because they know you got to get those stupid things somehow. I have other butterflies. I don't know what resource is, but they look like molars. I think you're talking about zeolite, and I'll show you what I think it is. Are you talking about that one? That's 175. That's 200. That's 200. I need 4 of these things. Yep. 120, 175, 175, 120. Let's go see if I got any more of these 200s over here. Well, actually, that's actually good to have because those silkworms take forever to spin up. What I should probably do especially on my phone because they're so tiny. Yeah, I feel for you watching on your phone. My eyesight is so sucky that 2 irons and a titanium. I'm going to try something a little bit different. I'm going to try taking a drink before I die. Yeah, my zeolite mining is um, yeah, when I wake up in the morning, I carry 3 things with me when I leave the bed, and that is one of them is my iPad, my iPhone, and my glasses. I don't know that this is going to look worth a damn, but we're going to give it a stab. Oh, it's too close. Nickel Fritz. No, it's not. Yay! I didn't touch. And that way I figured that I would only have to build one door and I could get to both of them. And I was not wrong. I think might put another one right there. Yep. That way I only have to build one door. Well, I might build a door on the back of that one, but I should have done what I did here in between here, but to rebuild it would be a pain in the backside, so. And I still have a zeolite with me. And that way, if I get more butterflies, I got some place to put them. Just having this dome actually does help. I think I need a sign over that door that says butterfly area. And I've already got two. So it's not the butterfly area. That's all right, though. Come on, one more butterfly. Yep, butterfly palooza. Well, if those are the weak sisters of the whole butterfly gang, I would think that these would sort by how strong they are. Obviously, I was mistaken. Did I bring too many? Two there. Two there. And there's two over there, so I did bring too many. And I know these are golden butterflies. Yeah, I've seen those zebra stripe looking butterflies flying around the base. I could have probably I'm not unhappy with that though. I really like the way that looks. The worst part about all this is that now that I'm up into the TTIs, I've got to get 5 TTI to even think, whoa, about finishing the game.